Who is not in cognitive dissonance? The most dangerous problem we have in America is not the border, it's not the economy, it's the Federal Reserve. You know why?
Why?
Because they own and control the issuance and value of every dollar you will ever earn or spend, which means they own you. And that's a problem.
All right.
Sir, why are you voting for Donald Trump?
Because he's not Kamala Harris.
Who the hell is for Donald Trump and wants to tell the world about it?
If you don't have a red hat, you might be a Democrat.
The only reason I have to be against Kamala Harris, she wants to institute red flag laws. Donald Trump wants to do the same thing. That's why I'm against Donald Trump. Why aren't you against Donald Trump for the same reason if you're truly for the Second Amendment? Did he drain the swamp or fill the swamp last?
Well, I'm not really sure that he had an opportunity to drain the swamp, but I think
he appointed his entire cabinet.
I'm not going to argue with you,
but
I appreciate you.
This is what Kamala Harris crowd does. When I press them on how bad she is, they don't want to talk to me. You know, Donald Trump did some evil things, right?
Donald Trump has done some things that we wouldn't agree with.
Evil things.
That wasn't Trump's signature?
It might have been his signature, but he had to agree in order to get what he needed to have done.
Trump agreed and signed off on a $6.2 trillion package, which is a middle finger to Americans and saying, I'm going to trash your dollar right now with this. It's a beautiful signature. It's a beautiful signature. I'm going to trash the dollar. I'm trying to find people who are not in cognitive dissonance. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Here's the Deal / The Disturbing Illusion. I'm Brian Young, your host. Today we're out here in Duluth, Georgia at the Donald John Trump rally, and we're going to find out if what George Orwell said in 1984 is true, that it's easier to deceive the masses than to convince them that they've been deceived. Stay tuned, and if you like these videos, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com, and let's get into this video. Biden is evil. We agree with that. Biden is evil, but let's talk about the issues. Are you pro Second Amendment?
Yeah.
What is the Second Amendment?
The right to bear arms.
Right to keep and bear arms what? Shall not be infringed. So if somebody infringes on that right, they're a tyrant, right? Yes, they are a tyrant. If somebody takes your guns, they're like the British, and we will commit a revolution against you if you try to take our muskets, said the founding fathers. So they penned the Second Amendment, which says a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of free state, the right of the people, the right, the unalienable right that you have to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So if Kamala Harris institutes red flag gun confiscation laws, you'd be against her, right?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you be against Donald Trump? Because he did the exact same thing in 2019 after the Las Vegas shooting.
When?
In June of 2019, he stood up in the White House and said, I am instituting extreme risk protection orders, red flag gun confiscation laws, which gives the local law enforcement the right to come into your house and take your guns in violation of your Fourth Amendment right to be secure in your person's house with papers and effects, and in violation against your Second right to keep and bear arms. So I'm a Second Amendment guy. So if you're purely Second Amendment, you are against Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Why aren't you?
You should debate Charlie Kirk.
I want to meet Charlie Kirk.
He's at UGA yesterday.
Yeah, I want to talk to Charlie Kirk. I've been trying, and he's not. I'd be surprised if he talks to me. And you know why? Because whether you vote for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, they're just puppets on the string of the banking masters. That's the Federal Reserve. The most dangerous problem we have in America is not the border, it's not the economy, it's the Federal Reserve. You know why?
Why?
Because they own and control the issuance and value of every dollar you will ever earn or spend, which means they own you. And that's a problem.
All right. Hey. He's smart.
No, I'm not smart.
He's smart. No, he's smart.
What's your name?
My name's Hank.
Hank, I appreciate you taking the time to stand here and not walk away while we're talking. Good job, Hank. Thank you. Who the hell is for Donald Trump and wants to tell the world about it? Who's got the guts to tell the world why you're voting for Donald Trump? Nobody wants to tell the world why you're voting for Donald Trump. Let's see. Let's talk to a MAGA guy. We're going to talk to Make America Great Again people. They're not going to have any problem telling the world why they're going to vote for Donald Trump. Sir, why are you voting for Donald Trump?
Because he's not Kamala Harris.
That's the only reason?
No, for me, I'm a single person voter. I'm for not
single issue.
Single issue,
okay.
No abortion, but well, only within reason.
You know it's impossible to be a single issue voter because the person you get in is going to make policies that you are not going to like. And they got in because of you.
I wouldn't be against some things I don't like because I can't have everything my way.
What are some of the things that Donald Trump does that you don't like or did in his first term?
Listen to people who allowed him to appoint those very bad generals that shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Let me just cut to the chase. This isn't a gotcha. I'm a pro-Second Amendment guy, and when I say shall not be infringed, if anybody violates my rights, I am in the spirit of the Founding Fathers. They are treasonous to the Constitution and are antithetical to the freedoms of America. If you don't have a right to keep and bear arms, and that shall not be infringed, then you don't have rights because you can't protect anything. The only reason I have to be against Kamala Harris, and I am absolutely against her, she's evil. The only reason I need is she wants to institute red flag laws. You know what red flag law is? It's an extreme risk protection order. That's red flag gun confiscation law. She wants to come into our house, violate our Fourth Amendment right to be secure in our person's houses, papers, and effects, and steal our Second Amendment rights, and put us in a psych ward because we're crazy. Donald Trump wants to do the same thing. In 2019, he instituted extreme risk protection orders. That's where they came from. On a federalized level, he instituted red flag laws. That's why I'm against Donald Trump. Why aren't you against Donald Trump for the same reason if you're truly for the Second Amendment?
So who's against Donald Trump? You're against
Donald Trump is for red flag laws. He instituted the first federal 2019 after the Las Vegas massacre. You can actually type in Google right now, Trump red flag laws, and you'll see him say it. Not only that, to add insult to injury, you know who Dianne Feinstein finds? I'm for freedom.
So, in this election, who will you be voting for?
I'm not voting for anybody. Then I withhold my consent. I do not consent to evil.
You're not voting for Trump, you're voting for Kamala. It's that simple.
What? Okay, so if Stalin and Hitler were running and you didn't vote for either of them, then you're voting for one of them. Is that what you're saying?
If your vote doesn't count, you're not an American.
Your vote doesn't count. You know what? You know why? Here's why do you think mainstream media wants all you guys voting? What? To tell you the truth about who's really in control. You guys know who's in control. What's that?
Once we know,
I truly want to make America great again.
Once we know what they are, we don't.
Once we know what they are, what are we? We are for freedom. We're for the Second Amendment, which means we have to be against Kamala Harris, which means we have to be against J.D. Vance and Tulsi Gabbard, who wanted to take our guns. Tulsi Gabbard on her website, Tulsi Gabbard says on her website she wants to ban AK-47s, AR-15s, and high-capacity magazines. Who's for that? None of us. But you're still going to be for Tulsi Gabbard? Can you explain this?
Sir, why don't you run for president, sir?
I don't want to, because I don't want to rule you.
Then not your place.
Don't you believe the federal government should be decentralized? Do you think we should eliminate Washington, D.C.?
Actually, no, I don't.
You don't think? This guy does not want to eliminate Washington, D.C. This is the problem, folks. This is the problem. All right. Who wants to tell me why they're voting for Donald Trump? Sir, why are you voting for Donald Trump?
He's the only candidate. He's the only candidate. He's our only choice. He's our only choice.
Only choice for what?
For president, to lead the country.
And to do what? What will he do?
Well, I hope he'll do what he did last time, bring some sensibility to our government.
Did he drain the swamp or fill the swamp last time?
Well, I'm not really sure that he had an opportunity to drain the swamp, but I think
he appointed his entire cabinet.
I'm not going to argue with you,
but
I appreciate you.
This is what Kamala Harris crowd does. When I press them on how bad she is, they don't want to talk to me because...
I'm not saying he's bad. I'm saying he's the only choice we have to lead the country at this point.
What did you think about Operation Warp Speed? Weren't you disappointed in that?
I was disappointed in a lot of our government, but this is our only option this time.
So our only option. So are you saying it's like?
What do you think I should not vote?
Are you saying?
You suggest I should not
well,
vote?
let me get a clarification. I will answer your question, but I want to ask you one. So are you saying you're voting for the lesser of two evils?
No, I'm not. No. I'm not saying.
So it wasn't evil to drain the swamp.
I didn't say that either. You put words in my mouth.
No, was it evil?
Read that.
Okay.
Do you read it out loud for her?
Red flag laws.
No, up here.
Oh. Vote Trump, no tax on our tips. If you want no tax on
tips,
you can do that. Just pay cash. Just give the waitress cash.
No, we want it.
Oh, you want the government to do it?
We want the American Express, and we don't do any taxes.
Just use cash. You can eliminate tax by giving the server cash. What did you think about the $6.2 trillion stimulus package? Oh, let me ask you. Let me answer. You don't want me to answer your question? We're finished? No, I'll answer your question. I don't vote for evil. That's my question. I don't vote for evil. If Stalin and Mussolini were running against each other, would you vote for one of them?
You just would not vote at all? Are you not voting this year?
I don't consent to evil, do you?
Voting this year?
No. I don't vote.
You don't have a voice. Then put that down and get out of here.
Do you know who controls the country?
You can't be recording it without him allowing.
Oh, are you recording me?
Yeah, you can. It's called the First. It's called the First Amendment. He's saying I don't have a First Amendment right to freedom of press out in public. Come on, this kid's already been wrong on 18 U.S.C. 241 and 242, and against the Second First Amendment.
He doesn't want you to.
Hey, he's not old. He's not down.
Do you want to give an interview?
No, I just don't like when you harass people.
This right here is called cognitive dissonance. The Kamala Harris supporters do the exact same thing. When you press them on who really controls the country, they don't have any answers. Why aren't you voting for my evil dude? Because Donald Trump fills the swamp. Steve Mnuchin is the Treasury Secretary? All right, looking for Trump supporters. Who's a Trump supporter? Looking for Trump supporters. Oh, Trump supporter. Not going to find them here. I want to ask a Trump supporter if they could please tell the Kamala Harris supporters why they should stop voting for Kamala and start voting for Donald Trump.
Number one, Kamala does not know how to tell the truth. She never worked at McDonald's, which is inconsequential, but to lie about such a little thing talks a lot about her character. She talks and does nothing. Nothing. Why do we need a president like that? Trump makes things happen.
Like what?
What he says he's going to do, if Congress allows him, he will do.
Can you give an example?
Taxes, cut taxes, close the border. Number one, close the border.
We're going to have industry come back into America. He's going to rebuild it. We're going to get back to where we need to be. And when I say back to, that doesn't mean, trying to insult anybody or take anybody's rights away.
I want
legal rights. We want people to have legal rights. We like immigration, but they've got to do it legally.
The other thing is she's telling the public that Trump is going to do away with Social Security. He's not doing away with Social Security. He wants to embolden.
So many lies on the left.
So many lies.
Things about him trying to take away like Social Security, and we are retired, so that does mean something to us.
It means a lot.
Well, one of the founding fathers said the price of freedom is eternal vigilance, and indifference to this notion is the means by which the people have and will secure their own oppression. So we need to be vigilant about the truth. I want to be frank with you. I'm a Second Amendment guy, and anybody who comes near the Second Amendment to touch it, in my opinion, is a tyrant. That's why I couldn't possibly vote for Kamala Harris. She's evil, and she wants to institute red flag laws. She wants to do assault weapons bans. But I'm against her for the same reason I'm against Donald Trump, because he's the initiator of the red flag law. Red flag, it's called Extreme Risk Protection Order. He implemented it nationwide after the Las Vegas shooting. Are you not against him for that?
I'm not against him for that, because I don't believe that that was never really implemented.
It was implemented. It's implemented today. It's a red flag law. The first guy, one of our veterans, answered the door at 5:14 in the morning when they served it. He's dead after Trump initiated that.
Well, I couldn't vote for Kamala for a lot of other reasons.
Yeah.
Mainly because of abortion. I can't agree with those policy of murdering children. As far as the gun laws are concerned, that's never going to go away. We're never going to be abolished from our guns. We have so many guns here in America.
Yeah, but he still made the policy.
Well, I mean,
it's still anti-Second Amendment.
I said that I agreed with Trump on everything, and I don't necessarily like mean tweets either. But when it comes to who's going to do the best job, Trump's going to do the best job.
Right, but who's he working for when he's filling the swamp with worse swamp creatures than even Obama had?
I don't believe that.
Steve Mnuchin? Steve Mnuchin was the Treasury.
I don't believe anything Steve Mnuchin says.
Steve Mnuchin. But I agree. I agree with you. But Donald Trump made Steve Mnuchin the Treasury Secretary. The Treasury Secretary, which means he worked with the Federal Reserve.
Pence vice president too, and look what a jerk he turned out to be.
I agree. So he's making bad decisions.
But no.
Worse than
who became the Secretary of State?
Worse than the Democrats?
They're all in bed together. RNC and DNC are owned by AIPAC. Both of them are. You guys realize that,
I
right?
realize that most Republicans or Democrats, it doesn't matter what politician it is. I'm really more of a independent than I am a Republican. Even though I'm registered Republican, I can't vote independent. We never can put somebody up there that's worth having.
But you know, Donald Trump did some evil things, right?
Donald Trump has done some things that we wouldn't
Everybody
agree
does
with.
evil things. Okay.
He did it as a matter of. I don't agree with that either. But he did that as a matter of policy. Remember Operation Warp
This is my
Speed?
wife, and we don't always agree.
Yeah, no, you were us too, and that's fine. I'm not against that. But what did you think about Operation Warp Speed? And he commended Deborah Birx and Anthony Fauci, two of the most evil people that were in his cabinet.
Did he know about it all, though?
Yes.
How do you know that?
Okay, so if he didn't know about it, then we're going to vote for somebody who's incompetent.
No,
I don't think Donald Trump.
That means that nobody can know everything.
I don't think
that's what it means. That's why you have cabinets. That's why you
They're
have
supposed to be telling
bring
you
in
the
people
truth.
But why-
that's supposed to be helping you to make those decisions.
Why did he
And
put-
He listens to a lot of people. He doesn't just listen to one. And he made his decision based on the information he had. I can't fault him for that.
Why did he make known CIA asset Mike Pompeo the Secretary of State, a known warmonger? John Bolton, a known warmonger. He was best friends with Henry Kissinger, the worst warmonger on the planet. He didn't put Hillary.
With or acquaintances with.
No, he said
You've
he's.
got to make differences.
No, I'm just using. I'm using his words. He said, "I've got a lot of respect. We've been together for a long time."
Use a lot of people's words and use them against them. You can twist them whatever you want.
What do you think about him not jailing Hillary?
I don't think that he had the right to do that.
He absolutely had the right and the power, and he had the goods on her. He had the power to dig up all the emails if he wanted to, and he didn't do it. You know why he said it? He said, because I chose to protect her. He called her evil the entire campaign, and then
take this whatever way you want to, and I'm done talking to you.
Okay, well, the reason I'm not voting for Donald Trump is the same reason I'm not voting for Kamala Harris. They're both evil. They're doing evil things.
You're not doing us any good
No,
then, at all.
that means you're voting for Kamala by not voting.
No, if you do vote for somebody you know to be... Oh, explain how that works. If I don't vote for either, I'm voting for one of them.
Yeah, if you're voting for whoever is the worst, really.
So that means if I don't vote for Kamala, I'm voting for Donald Trump.
Essentially, yes.
Really? So in a sense, I'm voting for Donald Trump. Or is it Kamala Harris?
You know, I don't care.
That's how little sense people make. They literally say, if you don't vote, you're voting for the person who I say you're voting. Well, you just said if I don't vote, I'm voting for Kamala. And then I pressed you.
You're not voting for anybody, but you're still voting for wrong.
Which means I don't consent to evil, but you do.
No, I'm not consenting to evil.
Okay. I just pointed out all the evil things that he did.
Why did God spare him?
I didn't even scratch the surface.
Why did God spare him?
What's that?
Why did God spare him?
Spare him from what?
The bullet.
Assassination.
The bullet? How do you know he was hit by a bullet? Did you see his ear 2 weeks later? It was completely healed. Can you explain that?
Saw the blood. Oh, come on. Man, you forgot your tinfoil hat.
And they caught the bullet on camera. Guys, they caught the bullet on
Somebody died,
camera.
so it must have been a big facade, right?
So we don't want to talk about the Federal Reserve or the policies that he instituted that we can actually objectively
God knows
see.
more than we do, and he spared him.
So why did he
And he
institute...
spared him because Kamala Harris, at her rally, threw people out who cried out, Jesus is Lord. So one's on one side.
Did that because of... Didn't that just recently happen?
Yes.
The Trump thing just happened a month and a half ago, right?
Yep.
So you're saying God looked into the future and said, I see what Kamala Harris is
God
gonna do."
knows the future. You don't know.
Which God?
Which God?
Lord
There's
Jesus
only one
Christ.
God.
Well, I mean, a lot of people serve different gods.
No, there's only one God.
Well,
I don't care
that's
you
what
call him,
that's what
there's
the
one
that's what the Muslims say
God.
too.
There's one God.
I know.
That's what Christians say.
That's what the Muslim-
Catholics say. That's what Jews say.
Well, the Catholic God isn't the Baptist God. You agree with that?
Absolutely is.
Oh, it
Yes,
is.
he is.
Why did the
He's
Baptist? Why did the Baptist?
I'm a Catholic.
Baptist.
A Southern Baptist will
Yes,
say
not a
Catholic.
Yes, his dad was a preacher.
You do realize
He knows the Bible more than anybody.
you do realize Southern Baptists say Catholics are going to hell. Catholics say that Southern Baptists are going to hell.
I've never said that in my life.
I used to be a Catholic and a Baptist.
I'm Catholic, but I don't follow the Catholic Church. I follow the Catholic faith. The church is run by men.
Yeah.
Men are
That makes,
corrupt.
and that's why politics and religions are very similar because it really messes people's minds up, where they don't really know what they're talking about. There's no logic
I've
trail.
been dead once from a heart attack and resuscitated. I know what's on the other side.
Can we talk about the $8.4 trillion in national debt that Trump racked
You mean
up?
Biden?
Trump.
They all have.
Do you realize that Trump racked up $8.4 trillion in national debt plus $6.2 trillion for the stimulus package? You know what that? Do you know?
You know that it wasn't Trump. It was actually the administration. It wasn't him. It was the
That wasn't-
Congress.
that-
Congress is the one that passed all those.
That wasn't Trump's signature?
It might have been his signature, but he had to agree in order to get what he needed to have
So
done.
Trump agreed and signed off on a $6.2 trillion package, which is a middle finger to Americans and saying, I'm going to trash your dollar right now with this. It's a beautiful signature. It's a beautiful signature. I'm going to trash the dollar. I'm trying to find people who are not in cognitive dissonance.
Hey, thanks for taking your time to watch this video. If you haven't done so already, take a second right now to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know, and make comments below because the engagement really helps. The shares and the likes really help overcome the algorithm. We're trying to get a message out here. If it's true that both political parties and whatever candidate they put in there is controlled by the Zio international banking cartel, then we have a far greater problem than most people can even comprehend. And the answer, the solutions are very, very simple. Not that they won't be hard, but it is simple to implement, and it just has to do with getting rid of a couple of organizations that are parasitically living off the rest of us. I'll see you in the next video. You'll need to stay tuned because I got a lot of really good interactions coming up, plus more videos coming from North Carolina. I'll see you in the next video.